Hello,
sure I
everybody.
understand. Is there
Let me
something else I can help with?
let me read the meeting notice. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Board of Health will be held remotely. I have bad printing. So anyway, specific information of the general guidelines for the remote participation by the members of the public and or parties with the right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Office of the Attorney General's webpage. No in-person attendance of the members of the public will be permitted. The town will preserve to use conference call capabilities regularly for other parties to listen in the participation accordingly. If not possible, we will post on the town's website an audio recording as soon as is possible after the meeting. Okay, let's go.
We can everybody open the minutes and read them while we could just do it right now?
I think that's fine. Is that okay with everybody?
Can you do that, Jean?
Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute to sign on.
That's all right.
Okay, I've got them in front of me, so I'm going to take a minute to look at them, okay?
Okay. Me too.
How are you, Jessica?
And how are you?
I'm fine. Three more meetings.
Do you have them up on your screen too, Jessica?
Yep.
Under travel advisory,
Yep.
first line will be replaced. Be on the end of it. Okay.
Got it.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, you know what? There's the executive session too. Shoot, let me email that to you. Okay, I just sent those two.
So have you read the minutes?
I'm not done yet.
Okay, we'll wait then.
Jess, I would just say that the board, instead of we'll revisit the discussion next year,
Yeah,
we'll review the contract,
okay, sure.
because we don't revisit discussions. You know what I mean?
Yes, sure, that
Okay.
sounds better.
Sue, you okay? And Jerry, you okay with that?
Yes, sounds good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we'll review the contract next year. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, they sound good to me.
And I did the whole motioning in and out of the executive session correctly?
Is that right, Jean?
I think so.
Yeah,
That's the way I believe it's supposed to happen.
Okay,
Okay?
Okay, so
I'm
that's
in
that
agreement
one.
with you, Gene.
And then we have to read the executive session one?
We can read them, but we can't release the information on them until the issue that brought us into executive session is resolved. So those minutes aren't public right now.
I believe,
Okay, so.
I believe Gene's correct.
Do we still vote on it?
But yeah, we can vote to accept them.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, I looked at both of them.
So
Yes, second.
is everybody okay with approving the minutes as they're corrected?
Yeah.
Take a motion to do that?
Didn't you already do that, Sue?
I don't know. I make a motion.
Sure.
Okay,
Second.
Okay.
Third.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Jerry, okay. So there's no public, which is good. So let's just,
Hey, I have a question.
yes,
You know how
sir.
we have all these Zoom meetings? Does somebody have to pay the company, Zoom?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think the town has a contract to
Yep.
do as
Oh,
many
yeah.
meetings as we,
So I have a special, like a Zoom account that's not a free account that they gave us.
Oh, okay.
Prior to starting any discussion with Tammy, I would like to make a motion.
go ahead.
I'd like the Board of Health meetings to return back to our normal hours at 7 o'clock.
Fine with me. Sue?
How about you, Tammy?
Fine.
Yeah. So I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
So will that
7 o'clock.
start our next meeting?
Yeah, for the April 15th meeting.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's just getting a little too nice out and I'm gonna have a hard time being here at 6 o'clock.
Gene,
No,
it's
I don't blame you. I'd like it at 7 also.
okay, that's fine.
It was different in like December when it was dark as soon as we left work.
Yeah, we could change it back to 6 when it gets dark.
Okay. No public. Health Director, please.
Let's see. Okay, it's been a busy week, busy 2 weeks. Let's see. Non-COVID-y, I witnessed perk tests for septic systems at 47 Fernwood and 356 Granville Road for repairs, and one new perk test at 5 Noble Steed Crossing. I did final septic system inspections, both repairs at 25 Birchwood Avenue and, oh, I wrote 22, but 33 Ranch Club Road. I left you the minutes, Jessica, or my report in the till. I'll correct it. It says it's supposed to be 33 Ranch Club Road.
Okay, I'll write it down too.
Hey, can I ask a question? Can I just interrupt? For repair perks, we just do the one perk and the one deep hole?
Two deep holes, 1 perk.
Okay, and then for new construction,
4 holes, 4 deep holes, 2 perks.
2 perks. Okay.
Yep.
And then how do you determine, what if the two perks are totally different? You don't take an average, you take whatever that perk is.
The worst perk is the one you end up having to use. Unless it's a failure, then start all over somewhere else.
Okay, so if it's the worst perk, you still build it based on that, even though you might be in a place where the soils are better.
If that's where you want your your septic system.
Yeah, okay.
Depending, sometimes you can't really pick one over the other because of where you want to build the house or the foundation. I think that's what sort of we've come across on some smaller lots, or some lots like up off of Sodom Mountain Road where, you know, you're up against the hill and there's so little options for where to site the system and, you know, put the house. It gets a little trickier. I mean, the other properties, like the new ones, the Noble Steeds and the Greens, you know, they can, at this point, it's so open, they can figure out if a spot that works well for them, though.
So when you go out there, do they have the deep holes already dug for you? Do you have to wait around for them to dig all 4?
No, not, usually they are finished for me.
Okay,
But I mean, sometimes it's all kind of depends on style. Like some people like to have their perk holes, their shallow holes completely separate from where they do their deep holes. And other people like to do a deep hole and a shelf together. So that kind of depends on whether or not you're going to be digging and if there's room. It is interesting how different people, different evaluators have different styles of how they like to do it. We have a lot of plans this week or over the last 2 weeks. So for new plans, for new septic systems, 4 Honeybird Lane, 1 Sawgrass Lane, 1 Silvergrass Lane, 2 Noble Steed. I don't have a street address for that, and 2 Noble Steed. And then for repairs, 375 Granville Road and 5 Treetop Lane. Let's see. Did a food service inspection at the Malicious Snack Shack. And I also had a meeting and sort of a walkthrough for Holistic Farmers Market that's going in the parking lot at the Brass Rail. They're applying, I think, with the Agricultural Commission for farmers market license, I guess, permit. And they're, I'm sorry.
how's that going to be? Is it going to be 3-sided structure or a
Outdoor,
building?
an outdoor sort of thing with vendors, similar to just like if you've been to an outdoor farmers market where the farmers set up their booths. They're setting up a website so that people could just know to people who don't fall into the agricultural product category who are selling food will apply to us, which actually that's one of the things that I wanted to discuss is potentially making the temporary permit a seasonal temporary permit. I did that in Chicopee and it worked well for the farmers markets. Because a temporary permit by state law lasts 14 days. Whereas this, if say, I'm just guess like say Blossoming Acres wanted to sell baked goods, then the temporary could possibly fit the whole season instead of every other week they'd have to get a new temporary permit. So I was gonna put something together and see what you guys thought about that. I'll send that your way. Sorry, I never have my phone on.
Who do we give temporary permits to now?
I think I've only issued one over the last year and they didn't show up because of COVID. Nobody's really been pulling temporary permits because we haven't had events or that sort of thing where people could come and do it. So I think last year we had one temporary permit it was like a steak supply place that was supposed to come up, but they decided never to come up to do it anyway. Let's see. So for meetings slash trainings, let's see, this week there was a Massachusetts Environmental Health Association Title V seminar about IA technologies. I attended last Friday, our COVID-19 school safety committee. We had stopped doing it for a couple weeks, but we kind of came back because a lot of stuff had changed. The travel order being one of the things, becoming an advisory, and then quarantine guidance. So Kate was very helpful with that, kind of helping, because the current guidance that they've been using is a 14-day quarantine, 14 plus 10-day quarantine, so a 24-day quarantine for students. So they're
Back up, hold on. So you have positive tests, they're in quarantine for 24 days, is that?
that's no, a quarantine. So say mom comes down with COVID,
Right,
the child's official quarantines / last day of exposure is the mom's 10th day. So then you have to add on 14 day, you would add on 14 days to the 10th day, because unless you can guarantee no exposure, then your quarantine continues to move out. And that's what the school department was using. It was what DESE asked for, and I think the School Nurses Association.
and are
I'd ask
we
for
back
that.
in the yellow? Is that what I got from Kate? We're back in the yellow?
No, we shouldn't be back in the yellow. Let me look at. Oh no, what happened?
I thought that's what the chart that
Kate sent,
Kate
Oh.
sent. It looks like we're yellow.
I thought last night we were, I thought we were 29, but you're right. We're in the yellow.
which means what?
We're not in the red.
I understand that, but
Doesn't really mean anything.
so
Yeah.
not to take up everybody's time, but that depends on how many tests you take as opposed to how many positives there are, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, it's for our size town. If we have more than 29 cases in 14 days, it puts us in the red.
no
But
matter how many tests we take, is that right? So it's not,
no,
okay,
nope, it's 20.
okay, we're back in the yellow.
But it doesn't really mean anything because prior to, well, I mean, it means something to somebody, but prior to moving to I can't remember what time it was in December, the way that we ended up moving with the reopening plan, the designations for the colors aren't changing the way we're moving back and forth. Like in the summer / springtime, if you were red, you couldn't move forward to a step or whatnot, but that's not the case right now. We get to move forward no matter what, and they're not restricting people or towns based off of the color status. So anyway, so that was what they've been discussing with the school. I don't think they've really come to a consensus as to how they're gonna restructure their quarantine guidance yet. I attended the press conference at the Big E for the regional COVID-19 vaccine site. We also had a Hampden County Health Coalition meeting today.
Is there any timeline for when that's going to come online?
Once I get through this, I'll
Okay,
Go
I'll
back.
talk about
Sorry.
that in
okay.
the next section. I'll just go through the meetings and trainings. We had our Hampden County Health Coalition meeting today, which was we predominantly talked about vaccination issues. We've been the town vaccine task force. We've been continuing to meet once a week, and this week specifically about homebound vaccination program. This morning at 8:30, I received a very impromptu Zoom link from the CDC to be part of a Zoom meeting that was facilitated by Vice President Harris. And they are starting a new group called the COVID-19 Community Corps. And it is a forum for local public health officials throughout the country. It was very interesting. They had people from the agricultural committees, faith-based organizations. It was really neat. It was a really neat experience, and I can send you guys some of the pictures. I took snapshots of the screen, so it was very well done and well hosted. I think it only went on for about 30 minutes, but it was still neat. And then we continue to have the twice weekly public health interagency conference calls where they tell us all the bad news 2 times a week. So that's that for regular stuff. So for COVID-19, let me just, I'll pull up Kate's, let's see, I'm gonna pull up Kate's report. Hold on. Can you guys see it? Did I?
Yes.
Okay. So we are back down to under 5 cases. So we're back in the yellow. We're lower than the wait, change. No, we're still higher than the Hampden County rate, but not by too much, which is pretty good. Yeah, you know, so it says 29 positive. See, this is the email I got last night was the 29 positive. That's why I thought we'd still in the red. I'm not exactly sure how they balance out, how Kate balances out these 2 numbers here.
What's the parentheses?
I don't know. That's something Kate does. That is not something from the state. I'm not, you know, I think what it is she adds in the probables.
So I'll throw my hands up in the
Because
air.
we're supposed to assume probables are positives. I'm pretty sure that's what she's added. She adds in there.
Okay.
Let me just stop sharing.
So even
Okay.
though our percentage is up, we're in the yellow because the number tested is up. Right?
Yeah, we're not. It's not based off of the number of tests. It's just 25 cases in 14 days.
It's an arbitrary number.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Because we're under 50,000, our number is just, or is it under 10,000? Our number is just based off of that. Actually, let me just look one more thing if she's still got that. No.
Go back to that. How many? There's either 29 or 25 cases as of 4/1
Yeah.
since the last meeting.
Say that again.
Since the last meeting. Since our last meeting, we've had how many positives? 29 or 25? Somewhere in
It looks like 24
24. Okay.
for her, for that one. 24 cases. So not the last meeting. That's for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh no, that's the last meeting. Sorry.
Last meeting.
Yeah, that's the last meeting. And they come out on Thursday night. So that's how as many as it's come out since the last meeting. So since our last meeting, I've been working with some of our restaurants to have them understand all the workplace standards for restaurants, for entertainment, for events and whatnot. After going out and talking with the owner of the Brass Rail, I wanted to make sure that all the places that provided entertainment were understanding the same things, which basically we have 3 businesses that are doing the entertainment. We have the Brass Rail, we have Westfield River, and we have the Southwick Inn. And so, you know, I spoke to length with all of them. I put together a kind of not a cheat sheet packet that just really has that besides like the regular standards, I wanted to break down that like these are the important things that everybody needs to know for the businesses, what they can do inside, what they can do outside, how many people they can have and whatnot.
Okay, so Tammy, how many people can they have now inside and outside? And what can they do for entertainment? Can they dance now? Can they do karaoke now?
So indoors for this isn't like a regular, so you sit down indoors for an event, like a bridal shower, a wedding, something separate from the regular establishment, you can have 100 people indoors. Or so say you have a hall or something like that, you can have 100 people, provided that you can keep with the social distancing limits.
Okay.
You can have music. You can have live music, just not live singing. You can have live singing outdoors. So you can't have the karaoke and you can't have the open mic.
So can the band that's providing the music have a singer?
Not indoors,
Okay.
outdoors, unless you're filming from another location. So, and then projecting it. And that they would rather you not have brass instruments indoors, but it is allowed to have a brass instrument indoors. Outdoors, it's brass and singing fine.
What's the difference between having a brass or a flute or an oboe or clarinet?
I think that's what they mean by a brass wind instrument, maybe a brass. Let's how they the terminology.
Well, woodwinds are like clarinets and sax.
Brass. I'm sorry, they're calling them brass or wind instruments.
Okay, so both.
Yeah, brass or wind instruments. And then indoors, it's for just musicians. There's no other than the 6 feet from the audience, there's no standards. But outdoors, if you have singers and musicians, there's a 10-foot barrier from performers and 25 feet between performers and the audience.
Okay, so
And
indoors,
then, so for
indoors, not a bridal shower, not a banquet, but say the Southwick Inn, just to have their patrons, what is it, 12%? How many can they have?
whatever they can fit 6 feet apart.
Okay.
Yep. And then, so for an outdoor event, it would be 150 persons. Dance floors are only open for things like weddings or bridal showers and things like that. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of that stuff is going to change for the next phase. I don't know exactly when the next phase is going to start, but if I were to guess, it's probably going to be in the next month, phase 2, just the way that they're moving things along. Let's see.
I got another question, but I might be jumping ahead. The COVID vaccination for the people that are housebound, who's going to be administering those vaccinations?
Well, we can move on to that if you'd like. So we were given the go-ahead yesterday, the day before, to receive 50 doses for the homebound program. And Chief Anderson has agreed to give us a paramedic, or have us go out with a paramedic. And they're even thinking about maybe having a follow-up car, so that our follow-up ambulance, so that while we move a little faster from spot to spot, they might kind of stick around in that neighborhood just in case they're needed. So far, we have about, I think, around 24 to 26, I believe, residences that are signed up for the program, which is
We guaranteed
fantastic.
a second shot within 3 weeks, or is this a J&J? Do we?
No, because we are getting Janssen.
I'm
We're
sorry.
getting what?
We'll be getting the Janssen vaccine.
What's the Janssen?
Janssen?
Johnson.
Oh, Johnson & Johnson.
Janssen.
Johnson.
It's called,
Johnson.
it's the Janssen vaccine.
Okay,
Haven't heard of
Johnson
that.
Johnson makes it. It's a one-shot vaccine, right?
It's yeah, but it's JAANSEN.
Okay,
Okay.
it's not by Johnson & Johnson.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yes,
We're on the
yes.
same page. Okay, so it's a
Right.
one-shot
Yeah,
vaccine.
yeah. So it's one and done, which
Right.
is fantastic.
Okay,
Okay,
got it.
So we
our
don't-
our EMTs are going to administer it,
Yes.
right? It's going to be like all one day thing,
It'll probably take 2 days.
2 days.
We're thinking around like 10 to 15 per day would probably be the amount that it would give it if you give them like, probably 45 minutes in between from one house to the next. That
Tammy, do you know the percentage of the efficiency of that one? I thought it was low.
So
It was
70
lower,
something.
but now I thought the last time they said it was more around 83.
Was it? I thought it was like 70 in the 70s.
Yeah, that's what I
100%.
thought.
It's supposedly 100% keeping people out of the hospital and dead, which
Right.
is
Supposedly.
Yeah.
supposedly, yes, right.
And for people in the homebound situation, while everyone said, well, they're homebound, they're not going anywhere, but people are going to them. They're getting services and they're getting home health aides and whatnot. So to be able to be vaccinated for anyone who comes in, I think is sort of the important part.
So Tammy,
We-
what's your role in this?
It depends on how much they need me to do the paperwork. We kind of haven't discussed that. If they're comfortable with the paperwork, I don't know if they'll need me, but if not, I'm just going to drive behind and fill out the forms because we have to screen them when we get there and do the forms. But the chief seems to think that they'll be pretty comfortable with it, with the program. And I know that Cindy Sullivan, the Council on Aging director, really wants to have a part in that too, but we're still kind of hashing out the particulars.
Okay,
Then depending on how well it goes, so the 50 is the first half of what they're going to give us. So if we do get more takers, then we can get the request the second half of the 100. So, but it looks like we're going to fill up that 50, I think, which is good. Especially when you look at the state's rate. I want to say the other day they had maybe 1,400 people sign up for homebound vaccination throughout the entire state. So 20 is pretty good for a small town, I think. So that was that.
I'm sorry, Tammy, one more question. Is this vaccine the type that expires within a certain time period?
Well, I could put it in the freezer.
Okay.
It will expire, yes. Yeah. Kate's got all the particulars, so she'll have to do all of the MIS, the immunization information paperwork for us. So basically for we won't have to do all of that prep mod paperwork or online stuff. It's just going to be that each dose that goes out has a number, and we end up having to put it in the MIS, the Mass Immunization Information System database, so that it keeps track to make sure that we're actually giving out the shots. So it keeps it easy that way. It's not too, I've been kind of tinkering with it. I know Kate's much better at it than me, but it's not too bad of a website to actually use. There are the state websites like the Maven and the MIS are surprisingly pretty well built. I have to say they're very intuitive. And let's see. So the big news was that West Springfield was accepted, or the Biggie was accepted as a regional clinic site. So as of right now, we don't have very much information about it. Tomorrow, we're having 2 separate meetings kind of to discuss the particulars and to discuss financials about it. But there's a tentative agreement for a certain amount of paramedics from town and police officers from town to go to the Biggie. But I mean, honestly, other than that, even the West Springfield Health Department doesn't know too much. It doesn't have too many particulars yet about it. We'll find out. I guess they said that the Wednesday before they receive doses is when I think their website will go live to start booking for appointments. And they're expected, I believe, upwards of 2,000 a day, but I think they will start at 1,200, I believe, a day. So that'll be a big, I think that'll take off a lot of stress on the systems that are close by for people, because I know people are still having a really hard time getting through to sites unless you want to wake up at 2 in the morning and go on.
Do
There's,
you
you
know
know-
what the wait time is for the Eastfield Mall? When you pre-registration to actually shot in the arm? I've heard
No,
anything from a week to 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Nobody knows.
I haven't really heard that many people who pre-registered who aren't eligible yet. I think that's I haven't heard anybody tell me about the callback experience when they are eligible.
Okay, because I've talked to some people who say it only took them a week or 10 days to get the email back.
That's fantastic.
So, okay.
Not bad. I mean, and then so right now we are at 60 and above, and certain workers are eligible for vaccine. On April 5th, we'll move to residents 55 and above and people with one certain medical condition. And then the general public, ages 16 and above, will be open on April 19th. Let's see. So last Friday, I put out the code red just to have people call and to sign up for the in-home vaccination program. We received dozens and dozens and dozens of calls. Jessica came in Monday and Tuesday to help with the screening process. Some people just chose to call the senior center anyway because they were just more comfortable calling down there. And so talking to a lot of people, so a lot of people just called because they were having a really hard time getting an appointment other places. It wasn't because they were homebound. I think they were just, the frustration of waiting and the frustration of getting on websites and whatnot, I think was really kind of getting people to call us up. So that's why I'm hoping that once it starts opening up with the West Springfield site, we'll be seeing a little less frustration, I hope. And I believe that there'll probably be some options for people to call in there too, I think, with their senior center, but I'm not quite sure yet. But I'll find more information out tomorrow for everybody.
So you don't know yet, like who the people to make an appointment, who they're going to contact or anything like that?
Well, it's probably going to be like website wise. It will probably be through the PrepMod website that there'll be links, I'm sure, on various pages and on mass.gov, because that's what a lot of the smaller clinic, or not smaller clinics, but the municipal clinics were given access to, and it's free for the municipalities to utilize. But there was some talk about having their own system too. So, but don't have any particulars yet.
So
You don't know who's overseeing it. West Springfield, the state, West Springfield's overseeing
West Springfield will be.
it? Okay.
Springfield will be.
So I'm a little bit confused. When you go to mass.gov, they'll redirect you for pre-registration. And you sign up, and I think they put you, Eastfield Mall is the only one that's close to us, is that correct?
Based at Holyoke.
Holyoke. So they'll put you in a queue on which the closest one is to where you are, I think. Am I right? Am I right? Wrong, right, left, right here?
I don't think that Bay State's considered, is Bay State
No.
considered a mass?
Well, no, Eastfield Mall.
I think
is.
only Eastfield Mall is for that queue.
State.
Okay, so
State.
they'll put you in there, and then when it's your turn, they'll email you or call
No,
you.
wait a minute. You can still go on that site and then you can find the individual places
Yes.
that have it.
Okay.
and Click on there.
That's fine. Okay,
Yes.
I don't know. I have, because I'm gonna do this weekend, so I've been tinkering with it and not actually going through it because I'm not eligible yet, but it seems like, you pre-register and then when your turn comes up, they'll give you a call. So I think that, I don't know what they're gonna do at Eastern States, but I imagine they're gonna be part of the state system and not be separate.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
It's not a mass clinic.
All right, that's
It's a
fine, whatever
regional
works.
clinic. It will be up on the website, but I'm not sure if that won't be the same with the pre-registration. I don't think so. But I'll
All
find
right, we'll find out.
like I said, this is really a conversation with the town, each individual town's elected officials. So far, it hasn't gone further down than that, other than really I know pretty much what everybody else knows.
Okay, well, we'll wait, find out.
Let's see that. So I think they're updating the vaccine numbers tonight. But I have the last set of vaccine numbers for town. Oh, here we go. There it is. So for town so far, as of, I think this was last week's, it should be updated tonight. There was 1,240 individuals were fully vaccinated with the vaccine. 48% of those individuals were 75 years and older. 16% were 65 to 74. 12% were 50 to 64. 10% were 30 to 49, and 8% were under 30. So it's,
That's all, just 1,000 something in the whole town?
that's fully vaccinated. Fully vaccinated.
So there's probably some that are half vaccinated.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that tonight that number will look a lot different than it did. Individuals with one dose is actually a lot larger number. I didn't add it up, but it's a lot larger number than 1,200. I'm gonna go with maybe 2,500 people have at least one dose.
So that's not included to 12, so that's 3,700 people, and at least that one dose.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But it's got to be much better than that this week once they release this week's table.
And what's our population now?
96?
98.
Okay.
They're going off of a population of 98.
Okay. So let's say 10,000 and probably easy down. So 37%, almost 40% of the people have at least one dose.
It's not bad.
No,
I mean,
think-
it's today's April 1st, so I think that's pretty good. And that's what I got.
okay.
Okay, I have a question. CARES, okay, so you said we're going to be getting another grant, perhaps?
Yes. I think that it was just signed off by Mr. Moglen this week, I think, or last week.
Okay.
It's through the state.
And then how long does it take to get it? I mean, do they have to approve us first, or it's a sure thing?
They'll drive it over to us pretty much the same day.
Okay.
Facilitated through the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. So they've been facilitating all of the state grants since the beginning.
And how much is it? And what are we going to use
I
it
think
for?
this one's mostly Kate. If you look at what we're just the amount that the grants have been coming in, like that covers mostly Kate because of the increase in her like how many hours she spends contact tracing. It's gone down. So this one, I think it's going to be like 5,600. I think it's a little less than the last couple of them. But like I just showed, some of the supplies that we have throughout everything, masks and PPE and whatnot. And I've made so many signs and laminated so many signs, laminating pouches, things like that we purchased with the grant money. And then there was a period in July or August where we had no grant funds. So everything that we did for that, there's just a COVID-19 account, and that COVID-19 account, I think it's been quarterly. Carl puts all that up together and it gets reimbursed. I think it's 75% by CARES and then 25% by FEMA. So it does all get reimbursed to the town, but it's not through budget.
So Kate, say Kate submits a bill for $10,000, all right? And it's going to be reimbursed by CARES and FEMA. But where does that money come from, the $10,000 up front before we get reimbursed?
It's a account the town has, but it's not within the health department.
All right, so it must be like a general. You'd have to ask Doug or Joe.
Well, there's the money, we get the grant money and they put it in that account and then we draw off of that account.
No,
No, it's reimbursed.
separate accounts. We keep those separate. We've only drawn, I think, it was about, I've got it right here.
That's the 19,000.
So we've received $21,112 in grant funds, and we've spent 19,126 of those grant funds. But then there was a point where we didn't have any residual grant, and it ended up being 13, a little over 9,000 that had to be reimbursed through CARES and FEMA. So, yeah.
So CARES and FEMA, they give the town, you have to apply for that? Do they give the town a lump sum? Is that a grant? What is it?
I think it's as long as it fits in there's a booklet of things that we can use and that we can get reimbursed for. As long as it fits within that, we get it. So, things that we do, contact tracing, whatnot, PPE, cleaning equipment, trainings, things like that, those all get reimbursed.
All right. I don't have any more questions.
Tammy, are you have anything more?
No.
Jean, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, so everybody missed public comment. Peter, you have any questions?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could clarify, just let me pull something up. So when you say people with at least one dose, and you may have said this, but I don't know if I heard correctly. So the 2,500 people, that's people that have received either 1 or 2 doses, or is that just people that have received 1 dose?
That is people, it says individuals with at least 1 dose.
So that could include,
Right, individuals with at least, individuals with at least 1 dose, not fully vaccinated.
okay, so does that mean that the total number the total number of people with just 1 shot, at least 1 shot in their arm, is just 2,500, not 3,700?
Well, it says not fully vaccinated, so I would assume that means people have.
Yeah,
So if you're not fully vaccinated, that's included. That's the 1,200. That's the other number, Peter.
Okay,
Seems like that's to me.
so approximately half of the people that have at least 1 shot also have their other shot. Is that what I'm?
About 1,200 people are fully vaccinated and about 2,500 people are waiting for their second shot.
No, it's the other way around. How many people have 2 shots? 1,200, you're right, Sue. I'm sorry, you're right.
They don't tally it up on
All right,
the state sheet, but it's about yeah, it's about 2,500 people.
Okay.
I'm not very good, but if you, it's probably updated now. So when you go to the mass.gov website and you go to
Right.
the COVID-19, then you click on the COVID-19 vaccine page. And then there's COVID-19 vaccine data. And then I believe it's called I think the spreadsheet's by municipality. The only confusing thing is when you go through the spreadsheet, it's not alphabetical by municipality. It's alphabetical by county first and then municipality. So you gotta look for Hampden County and then look for Southwick.
Gotcha.
I think
Yeah,
it should be tonight. They should be updated. So
I
I'm hoping the
think-
numbers look a lot.
I'm looking at it right now. It looks like it is posted. Yeah, I'll go through it. Thank you. That's all I had.
No problem.
okay. Okay, is that it?
Doug
Jane,
or
anything?
Joe?
Sue?
Doug or Joe have anything to say?
Joe, are you listening? Okay, we'll skip Joe. Doug?
I'm good.
Joe? Do you have anything you'd like to, wisdom you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, if you got someone having a hard time signing up for shots, give them my cell phone. I got a connection. We've been doing very well with it, honestly, for some of the elderly folks. I just got one 2 o'clock this morning for a guy April 5th. So seriously, if you have someone that's having an issue getting that appointment, other than you, Dr. Asia, let me know. I can take care of it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. You got the time. See, the other folks, the elderly, that are having a hard time with the computers, but I do
Well,
have
the
connections to
elderly,
get them done.
Gonna be
Oh,
74
good.
this month, so that
That's all I'm
makes me
gonna say.
elderly.
Yeah.
Okay, cut off his mic, okay? Thank you, Tammy.
Hey, motocross. What's going on with that?
So the motocross this year, the guidelines have been put out by the EEA.
What does that stand for?
The Office of Energy and the Environment.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's the governing authority over motocross. They put forth a little bit better, definitely better guidance than last year. Last year's was I felt like it was really open in the air, and we just kind of had to like put together the requirements that they needed. Whereas they did put everything in one document that had all the particulars that we need. And it looks like the plan that they're going to be using follows straight with the EEA document.
so did they have a meet last Sunday?
No, they
Yeah.
didn't. They had practice on Friday, and then because of the rain, they canceled Saturday's session. At least that's what I was told.
Yeah,
Is that correct,
I didn't
Joe?
get the pictures, but I was supposed to get pictures this week from them.
Joe?
Yes, sir. Saturday was a practice. Sunday was canceled because of weather.
Like I said.
So this Saturday is another practice, and then Sunday should be the same exact race that was last week that was canceled.
Okay,
There's 1 million signs up. They're 4x4 sheets. They're on top of it for what they can be, but we all know in this room, everyone has great intentions, and you're going to find some that don't have a mask on a half hour later. We at the concession stand refused anyone without a mask, literally refused them, and they came back with masks on. So we're trying our best. We have a nice sign that says, "Don't be an ass, wear a mask," and we're working on it.
You only can do the best you can, Joe. That's it.
That's right. You can only do so much for these people.
hey, do they still have the, like if somebody has a problem, a respiratory problem or whatever, they do not have to wear a mask? They still have that option?
That is in the order still.
Except the business can refuse service to anybody. So if you want to go into Big Y and they have a sign that we will not let you in and without a mask, I don't know, there are some, well, for instance, Blue Bonnet in Northampton, if you want to go in there, it says no mask, no service, medical conditions notwithstanding. You don't
Okay,
have a mask, you can't come in. So a business can refuse to have you wear a mask, and they don't have to let you in.
Tammy, I'm sorry, I had a little thing and I might have missed this. Once somebody is fully vaccinated, what do you do?
What do you mean?
Like, are you done? Can you talk to people, be in a room? You know, you can still give it to somebody, but they can't give it to you.
I think that none of that is 100% certain right now. How well you might transmit or carry, so that we still want everybody to be doing the same, the social distancing, wearing masks. The difference is, so now in your house group or your circle of trust or your pod, now you can, be a little more free with those groups. Have them come over, we can, if everybody's vaccinated, you can hug your grandma and grandpa and things like that. But we still don't want to stop with those things outside of our groups and going out in public. It's still, the mask order is still in place. Parties at home are still limited to 25 outdoors, 10 indoors. So even though you're masked up, without knowing, it's such a new disease for us. We don't know all the particulars. This could be something that could stick around for quite some time. We might be getting boosters in a year. We just don't even know.
So
I know of a woman who vaccinated like I was, twice, fully vaccinated. And she got COVID from her boyfriend after she was fully vaccinated.
So normally, and Sue probably knows more about this than I do, vaccine trials from start to finish would take 5, 10, 15 years before they're approved by the FDA. This one took 8 months. So we are the clinical trials, basically. They're going to find out who gets reinfected, who dies after they get vaccinated by allergic reactions. They would have most of that information before they went to the FDA. Now, because it was such a deadly virus, we all said everybody clamored for whatever they could get, the vaccine. So the FDA said, okay, we'll give you what we have. And we don't have all the numbers we should, but this is what we have, that our best guess. And I think that's what everybody is, the best guess. So we're the clinical trial, and people who have 2 shots will get COVID again. And people who get 2 shots will die from COVID. There's going to be a percentage, probably. Nobody knows. But, I'll take 91 over nothing. So I think that's the answer to the question that Jean has, that we don't know. But you're just taking your best guess. Is that, anybody disagree with me?
No.
Okay. So, all right. Anything else before next meeting is the 15th. I'm going to take a motion to go into executive session.
At 7 p.m.
7 p.m., please.
We're
Thank
moving
you.
it to our
All right.
regular time.
Well, at least we can be early and we don't have to worry about being late. So, okay. Thank you, everybody.
Now, wait a minute. Are we going to go into executive session?
Yes, I need a
All right.
motion to go into executive session.
All right.
So
So we don't adjourn this meeting then?
No, this meeting gets adjourned after we come out of executive session. Is that correct, Mr. Mogul?
Well, are you going to return to open session?
Yes. Well, do we have to?
No, you can post the meeting. You can read it as that you will not return to open session, and you can't. So then you go into executive session and you adjourn your meeting from executive session, and you
That's
cannot
fine.
go back in public and vote on nothing or anything like that.
I'll take a motion to,
So do we
Well-
adjourn this meeting?
No, you're gonna
Adjourn it
roll
to
call
executive-
vote into executive session and not to reconvene in open session.
okay, so my suggestion would be we leave it open in case we decide in the executive session we need to talk about something out. Can we do that, Doug?
Absolutely. But
Okay.
you then have to vote, roll call vote into executive session to reconvene an open session. So I'm the only one on this meeting so far, but if anyone joins, they got to sit in the waiting room and you kick me out to the waiting room. And then when you come back out of executive session, you roll call back out without the recording, right? And then when
Yeah.
you come back into open session, you need to start the recording again.
Gene, what do you want to do?
You should probably just call it a day, but that most boards do that. Unless you have a matter that you need to vote on tonight, that's going to come out of executive session.
Well, we can't, in our executive session, if we want to vote on something having to do with the executive session, do you vote on it in the executive session?
You
Okay,
generally
so
not.
So we're going to keep it open then.
Yep.
So we'll keep it open.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to go into executive session with the
I-
anticipation that we're going to come back to open session.
Okay, I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Do I have
I'll
to read
second
why
it.
we're going in?
Okay, read why
Yes.
we're going in.
Okay. I can find it.
And while he's looking for that, Tammy, if you're running this meeting, right?
Oh, stop record.
No, you
Oh, no,
you should
wait.
pause
cancel.
it. Pause it
Pause it.
while you're in
Because they
executive
want to come
session.
back.
And then when you come back, play it, start recording again, saying
Um,
we're coming back into open session. Then we have just one singular recording for the meeting.
I've made Jessica and Jerry co-hosts. So
Fantastic.
I can put myself in the waiting room, right?
Why do
You're
you
not
want
going to be in the exec session?
Why do you want to go in the waiting room?
I don't know if I need to be in the executive session.
Yes. Jerry, you're the one that called executive session, right?
I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session.
Okay,
I have no legal knowledge of whether Tammy, who's going to be the object of the executive session, needs to be there if she doesn't want to be.
Then you just kick her to. You'll just kick her to the waiting room, and then, but somebody's got to take over. Oh, I don't know what's
but
going to happen.
Tammy, we want Tammy to be in executive session.
Tammy?
I mean, I feel like there's discussions that you guys need to have without me, but if you want me there.
Yeah, you should. I think you should be there.
Dean, what do you think?
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I think you should be there. Okay, so we're make a motion to go into executive session and
Hold
about,
on. I make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, paragraphs 21, 2, and 3, Chapter 214, Section 1B, and CMR 20.031B. Get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
I'm in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, okay, all in favor.
I'll
Okay, you
press
turn the
pause now.
recording